Everybody, Miami PD scanner here live. It's Friday night. It's about 10:45, August 15th. There's been some kind of a horrible accident on Rickenbacker Causeway. They've essentially shut down the entire causeway. There's no traffic being allowed in, no traffic being allowed out. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I don't have too many of the details. I've gotten what I could. Apparently there might be a 45 and it might be a juvenile, but don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. This accident happened way up there at the bridge. I'm on foot. You can see everything is shut down here. I think they're just now letting the overflow off. I'm not exactly sure what vehicles were involved, but I do know that the accident happened somewhere at the bridge. I'm gonna try to make my way over there now. You can see over there way off in the distance. I'm not sure if you can make that out, but there's the bridge over there. That's about as far as I can zoom in right now. It looks like it was happening. It looks like it happened on the eastbound lanes. Let me wipe this a bit. Sorry about that. Let me get that grime off the. So the causeway looks like I can't see your text, guys. I can't. If you're trying to chat in the chat, I can't see the chat right now, but we're working on that. Got Mrs. Miami PD scanner back in the mobile command center, and I'm here on foot. We're trying to work that out right now, but you can chat with her. She's there. She's available. It's probably going to take me a good, I don't know, it looks like it's probably going to take me a good 15 minutes to get over there. I might be underestimating that a little bit. It's pretty far away. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all right, though. What happened out there, though? You don't know what
Accident. It was an accident. Really bad accident, yeah. How you doing? Yeah, you're not on video. Don't worry about it. See if I can get some more height here. That'll work for us. I wasn't planning on taking a walk, so I'm actually in flip-flops. I don't know how good of an idea that was, but here we are. Wow, I can honestly say I've never seen the causeway like this. I mean, maybe in the early 90s during Hurricane Andrew, but never since then. Let's see if I can find the chat on this stream. All right. That's Channel 7 News over there. Let's see how far up there I can make it. Looks like CP is probably right here. So I'm not sure that I'm gonna be allowed to go past that point. But we'll give it a try. See what they say. This is surreal. Absolutely surreal. I mean, hey, back in the control room, can we share this to the multiple chats and the Yeah. Where's media staging? I asked.
Just give us a few.
Okay.
Because we're still literally.
That's fine. You want me to stay right here? You want me to go over there? You want me to get out of here?
Go as far as the tape.
Okay.
The lieutenant's up there. So the lieutenant turns you around. That's the lieutenant.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm concerned you can go as far as the tape.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh. Okay. Well, we made it past the first roadblock. All right, so like I said, this is a major accident that happened here on Rickenbacker Causeway. Got both sides of the causeway shut down. Absolutely surreal. Absolutely surreal. It is so quiet here that you can hear the music from across the bay over there. Or maybe there's somebody on the shore over here. Maybe somebody fishing. I don't know. But it is quiet. Eerily quiet. It's really dark over here on this side. They said that I can go as far as the tape. So, you know it's going to be bad when there's tape. Hey Sean, yeah, this is pretty bad. I mean, look, this is the causeway. I'm literally walking on the causeway, and there is not a single car here. Major accident. From what I understand, from what I heard, there's an accident here on the bridge. The entire causeway shut down. No traffic in, no traffic out. As you can imagine, the entrance over there by the toll booth, right before the toll booth where the light is, they have that all blocked off. So that entire humongous intersection over there just looks like total gridlock. They're not letting anybody off the island or anybody on the island. Nobody on the causeway. No vehicular traffic on the causeway. People are trying to get in. People are trying to get out. But apparently they had to shut this down here because there's an accident here that might involve a 45, and we believe that it's a juvenile. I don't know much. I don't know much about what's going on. I don't have access to the radio right now. This was kind of impromptu for us. We were driving by and heard this thing and decided to stop here. We have Mrs. Miami PD scanner is back in the mobile command center. She's manning the chat there. I can't really see the chat right now. I mean, I can glance at it on my other device from time to time, but I can't really interact with you guys in real time. At least not until I set up somewhere. I think essentially what I'm going to do is when I get to wherever they'll let me get, I'll I'll set up the tripod and then I can talk to you guys more interactively and let you know what's going on. But for right now, that's what we got. Again, this is Rickenbacker Causeway. You guys know this place. You guys come here a lot. You know, it is, what is it? Just after 11 p.m. on a Friday night, and there isn't a single vehicle on the causeway. Not one. It's so quiet out here, you can hear a pin drop. I'm sure that you guys hear my flip-flops. All right, guys. Give me just a second. Stand by for a quick commercial break. As I continue to walk here, I'll be back in 30 seconds, okay? All right, by my calculations, most of you should probably be back already. Yeah, so essentially what I did was we parked just outside of the area that was closed down. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. I am literally standing right in the middle of the causeway. Completely shut down. I mean, I've never witnessed anything like this. Like I said, I may be back, you know, in the early 90s, right after Andrew. This was full of boats. You know, there was a boat sitting right there, a yacht. But not a single car here. No noise. This is crazy. Yeah, so the F1513 says, can you move towards the accident? Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm making my way over there right now. I'm not sure how far they're going to let me go. The previous roadblock, which is back over there, they told me that I could go up to where the police tape was, but if they turn me back around, that you know, it's on me. So I'm gonna make my way up there now. This is where the accident is. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, Camila says you're literally the only one. Well, there's some more people here, I guess. Maybe people that got off their cars or something like that. I think they're just now letting cars on the, so what they're doing is they opened the westbound lanes to eastbound traffic. So they're using the westbound lanes for overflow. I don't know if you can see this right now, but the westbound lanes are flowing eastbound traffic. So that's how they're letting people into the, hey, how you doing, man? Any idea what happened here? No? Hey, you guys who are listening, who are watching now, I guess there's maybe about 50 or 60 of you. I really can't tell, but if you could please go ahead and share this content with somebody who you know, share it to your social medias. We kind of need all the help we can get to get the word out there, that we do this kind of thing. We're just now building this channel, and we're trying to expand our reach. So if you like this content, at very least just hit that like button on the screen there. And if you want to subscribe, you know where that button is too. And if you could share it with your friends or anybody who you think that might find this interesting, put it on X, tag us on there at Miami PD Scanner. We'd really appreciate it. Let them know what's going on. We believe that this is a fatal accident on Rickenbacker Causeway. We have reason to believe that the person involved, or the fatal part, again, I'm not exactly sure, but that's what I have come to understand, is that the fatality in this case was a juvenile, possibly 14 years old, but I'm not sure. All right, man. Guys, you know what? Hug your people, man. Hug your people. Make sure you tell them you love them. How you doing? All right, guys, this is as close as it looks like I'm gonna get. Give me a second while I set up here. All right. So, I'm not sure if you can see this, but that's where the tape is. Don't really see much of anything else going on there. Safe to say that fire rescue has already been in and out of here. There's some people climbing over the barrier over there that look to be involved. But I'm not exactly sure to what extent we're gonna be allowed to stay here. They might tell us right now that we need to go somewhere else.
He said up to basically
To the line, to the tape. All right, you got him. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, they're gonna allow us up to the tape. I don't see any I don't see any I don't want to point the camera in the wrong direction. So let me get an idea for what I'm looking at here before I. All right, so yes, it does definitely look like it was a bicycle. It also looks like there's no other car. Give me a second, let me get situated, guys, hold on. And there's definitely nobody there right now. Obviously the person who was injured has been transported. Hopefully I got some erroneous information there at the beginning. And yeah, Maria Gattai says cyclist. Yeah, it does appear to be a cyclist. It looks like that's the bike right there. That's probably the person's bag. I'm standing on the west end of the tape, and you can see where this tape goes around. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit so you guys get a better idea of what we're looking at. But hopefully what we're looking at here is someone who was, who was fine, maybe injured, but was transported and hopefully still with us. I suppose we'll know more about it, in the news. I'm sure that if you guys do some searches online, you can probably see. You probably have access to more information than I do right now. Guys, I'm gonna get in a different position here. Stand by. Give me 30 seconds so that we can roll a quick commercial break. Just give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. You can go ahead and run that break. All right, so apparently they're letting cars in groups, because what they're doing is they're closing, since they're using just the westbound lanes. They're closing that end. They let the people who are coming in first, and then they're more than likely going to start allowing people to exit the area now. Yeah. Day B Bang says that those bike lanes give them a false sense of security. Couldn't pay me enough to cycle on the street. Yeah, same here. The bike lanes he's talking about is obviously these green lanes that you see here in the middle of your screen. I would never cycle there. I'd walk my bike up this bridge on the inside of this thing, or I don't know if they let you bike on the inside. Maybe not. Maybe it's just runners and walkers here on the inside. But those green bike lanes and this bridge are notorious for accidents like this. All right, let's see. El Marino, welcome. Suli Flores, thank you for tuning in. Camila, thank you as well. Lorenzo, it's good to see you again. Let's see. Ana Maria Alvarez says we're stuck in the gridlock trying to get onto the street. I wonder if that's the person that was yelling at me when they drove by here. Becca asked earlier if I was walking into the Key or out. Well, obviously I was walking in. Do you know if the kid had anything to do with it? So the F1513 says, do you know if the kid had anything to do with it? I don't know. I don't know. The call was kind of weird because it didn't even go out as like an emergency call. Apparently there was already an officer here or something. may have been here when the accident happened, or because they stage these guys kind of like throughout the Key in different areas. So he may have been here when it happened. So he kind of put the call in. It wasn't a 911 call. It was a call from an officer, and essentially the only thing that he was asking for was more units so that they can block off the traffic. Obviously, it took us maybe 10 minutes to get here. They were already long since staged. Then this was all closed down, and it took me a good, I don't know. It took me a good. How long have we been rolling here? Yeah, it took me a good 33 minutes to get here. So, I was strolling, not running, but yeah. So this happened sometime between 45 minutes to an hour ago. And they're just now, I guess, getting everything. They might send, depending, I guess, on what ultimately happened, they might send crime scene out here to investigate. But again, that's all going to depend on, multiple things. I'm going to leave the camera rolling here. There's no sound going on right now, so I'm going to... Let me see what I'm going to do here. Let's see. Miami PD. So Mrs. Miami PD scanner says Miami WSVN, a bicyclist is dead following a crash involving minors on a dirt bike that caused the eastbound lanes of Rickenbacker Causeway to be closed. On a dirt bike. Wow, I wonder if they're finally going to do something about that. I'm going to save my opinion on that one. Here comes the egress. So this is the traffic that they're sending out now. Yeah, I muted the audio directly on the cam there. Wow, dirt bikes. I'm gonna see if I can go get a. I'm gonna see if I can go get a statement from this officer a little bit down the bridge here. I'm gonna leave you guys here for a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute this. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just leave the mic here. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I'll be right back. You guys go ahead and chat on the chat there. I'm gonna leave this rolling and see if I can get some more information. I'll be right back. Stand by for a 30-second commercial break. All right, guys. So you got me. You have the audio. I'm back. I just confirmed a few bits of the story, and yeah. So the 45 was not a minor, over the age of 18. Don't know exactly the age, but not a minor. And the minors involved were the ones on the dirt bikes. So apparently the rest of the story that you guys have been posting here back and forth is correct, but that's essentially what happened. There's one of the dirt bikes right there. I don't know if you can see that in the middle of the screen here. I don't know if that's, I can't tell if that, yeah, that's not an electric bike. That's an actual dirt bike. It was there on the ground. So apparently one of the riders was a juvenile, and then the 45 was definitely somebody over the age of 18. Anna Maria Alvarez says, "Thank you for keeping us informed." You're welcome, Anna. You know, it wouldn't be the same without you guys. I really appreciate you, everybody who's here. We thank you very much for tuning in. I don't think that there's much else to see here, so I'm gonna pack this up. And as I pack up, I guess I'll walk down. And I'm not gonna make you watch half an hour of me walking down the bridge. But I'm pretty sure that they're gonna send their crime scene investigators over here, and we'll get the rest of the story tomorrow. But that's what we do. That's what we do here, guys. Yeah, it does look like a smaller bike. It's definitely not a 250. You know, it's a 125. They look, you know, they're bigger now than they were, 30 years ago. But yeah, it's a small displacement, or medium displacement. It's not an 80cc. But it's definitely, hey Jared, welcome back, man. Yeah, Jared says crime scene is already en route. And yeah, I would expect that they'd already be en route. Yeah, they had a couple of calls earlier that they went to, but I would imagine that they're on the way over here now. They've got to collect all the evidence and preserve the crime scene and do all the things that they need to do. Yeah, Mrs. Miami PD Scanner says, electric dirt bike, is that a thing? Yeah, it's a thing, but that wasn't one of them. That looked like a, two-stroke, 125cc medium-size bike. So I'm gonna make my way down there now. What do you guys say? Do we keep this live going all the way back down, or do you want me to sign off here? I mean, I gotta walk back down anyway, so either way, I'm here. Oh yeah, thank you, El Marino. Thank you for hitting that like button. I really appreciate that. Look, guys, honestly, we want to do this a lot more. Be a lot more available, and bring this type of content to our fellow Miami residents. I don't know if you can tell from my accent, from the way that I talk, but I was born and raised here. I've been in this place my entire life. I've never lived anywhere else for any extended period of time, anyway. This is my hometown. This is where these are my stomping grounds. This is where I went to elementary school. This is where I got in trouble and where I went to high school. Spent a lot of time here, born and raised. And I've been listening to the scanners here, specifically the city of Miami for, let's see, let me make this calculation. 48 for at least 30 years. It's something that I've always loved to do, radios, radio waves, you know, CB radios back in the 90s and the 80s, and, you know, listening to scanners and buying different radios and testing them, and you know, and then building systems like this that are automated, like the ones that you guys listen to here. You know who you are. You guys are yeah, Day B Bang. I'm sorry, dude, if I'm trampling your name. I'm not. First of all, I can barely see it, but I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But anyway, he says stay on. Yeah, I'll stay on. I mean, I'll stay on. So I'll give you some background. This channel, I started this channel on YouTube, kind of as a project. During, this was my COVID project. You guys remember those? I'm sure that, you know, a lot of you, you know, kind of delved into some kind of something to occupy your time for a month, you know, or two, or whatever it was. And I was trying to figure out how to listen to all of the channels at the same time. And, you know, you can't do that with a scanner. You know, with a scanner, you can scan everything, but it stops on a channel wherever there's traffic. And then if you hear something that's interesting in one of those channels, essentially, you have to either hold it on that channel and keep listening. And there's a lot of dead air space in between. Anybody who listens to these feeds, you know, knows that there's more silent periods than there are active periods. So what happens is that you're like, all right, well, this is getting boring, so let me go to the other channel. And then you realize right when you left this channel was a beep tone on, you know, right when you left channel 7 to go listen to channel 3, there was a beep tone on channel 7. And half an hour later, you realize you missed that. So my idea with building this was to build a system that would listen to all 4 of the channels, all 4 of the primary dispatch channels in the city of Miami, and send me a notification, to my own Telegram, right, if there was ever a beep tone on any of the channels. So it started that simple. For me, it was essentially, you know, I want to get notified if there's a beep tone on any one of those 4 districts. And then as I started kind of mulling that together, or mulling that over in my head and piecing it together, I was like, well, I'm gonna need something to listen, right? But I need to listen to all 4 channels. I need to listen to all 4 districts simultaneously. So that's gonna require either 4 scanners or, you know, some RTL SDR dongles, which, you know, are pretty cheap. And I'm gonna need a computer, so I dug an old computer out of my closet, been sitting there for 10 years, you know, collecting dust. And I dusted it off and brought it out and saved what I needed to save from it. And luckily it still started, but I wiped that completely. It used to have Windows on it. I think it had, I don't know, I forget. But, you know, I must have built this thing like circa 2001, you know, or I don't know, 2006, you know, or something like that. It was a very old computer. So anyway, I dismantled it, installed Linux on it, and then started building out this system. And I realized, well, you know, if I'm gonna send myself notifications, well, you know, what happens if I can't listen? What, you know? Oh, and the whole idea was, let me just turn on my scanner. You know, I can use the notifications to change the channel on the scanner I'm holding in my hand, right? So if I see a notification that says south, I can quickly change to south, and if I see one that says north, I can quickly change to north. Well, that happened very quickly, and it didn't end there, because then I realized, oh look, there's south right now. So let's see. South says police responding with lights and sirens to 3651 Charles Ave to assist another unit. Additional details not provided. So see, I can just, this is Telegram. I'm just going to click on that link right now. And then we need some units. We need some units. You guys hear that?
7635. 7635 and 7533, make it a 315, 3651 Charles Avenue. 3651 Charles Avenue, 7635.
Yeah, what's on the road?
7533.
So anyway, the beauty of this system is that I can pause that right now, and I can go back and listen to it later. So that was the logical next step in the evolution of this channel, was to essentially, well, if I'm already listening for beep tones and I've already got notifications stuff somewhere, so that I can go back and listen to it later, you know, because if I couldn't hear it at that moment, then I might be able to go back and just listen to it. So I thought about that, and I was like, okay, here's south again. Police responding with lights and sirens to Charles Ave and assisting units. Incident is ongoing. All right, let's listen to this, because this sounds... Let's listen to this for a second.
7303. Yes. Per 7330 authorization 7531 showing responding on a 315 3651 Charles Avenue 3651 Charles Avenue 7531. Yes, the units maintain 3651 Charles Avenue.
7526, I'm arrival.
7526 arrival.
It's probably, you know what, if we're honest, it's probably some kind of a fight or something going on there. A 32, some altercation. It's that time of night. People have had enough to drink, and they're starting to leave the bars. They tend to get into altercations and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna call you Bang, bro. All right, everybody agree we're gonna call him Bang? So yes, Bang. Yeah, it's in the Grove, absolutely. That was Charles Ave in the Grove. So, you know, once I had all this stuff up and running, I'm like, okay, well, I need to put all of this audio that I'm capturing into somewhere, you know. And then I started thinking, well, that's going to take a lot of storage, you know. It's going to take a lot of storage. I don't want to buy storage. And I was like, hey, you know, what if I just send it to YouTube? YouTube isn't going to charge me for storage, and I can listen to it live. Like, I can literally tune into YouTube, to my own YouTube, and just, I can, and then it exploded. It was like, all right, well, I'm going to do links, and it's going to go right back to the time code, exactly where it happened, and it's going to open it up exactly where the beep tone happened, and that snowballed into what you guys see today. You know, this has been a project in the making for 4 years. You know, I'm not going to say I dedicated every waking hour, you know, to putting it together. You know, I kind of do it in stints. You know, you know, I'll take a month and dedicate it to upgrading some stuff. You guys, if you guys have been tuning in since the beginning, I know Jared has, El Marino has. So if you kind of been watching from the beginning, you've seen the evolution of the channel. You know, it's just kind of me putting something together real quick just so I can listen to it. And before I knew it, there was, you know, I don't know, 4,000 subs, you know. and that's how it happened, you know. And now 4 years in, you know, we've got some camera equipment that we can, you know. Hold on, let me get out of the way of this super bright tow truck. Nice truck, buddy. American Towing. See if I can zoom this out just a little bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much the story. And then over the last couple of months, I guess maybe 3 or 4 months now, I started putting together. Hey, you guys have a good night. Be safe, man. Yeah, I got what I needed. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So, Yeah, Jared says this channel has grown since the start. And you know, ironically, Jared, let me get out of this. Let me get out of the bike lane before I get run over by American Towing. These guys are awesome, by the way. American Towing, except when they're towing you away from the beach, and you got to pay them $350. Is it still $350? Yeah, that's what it was the last time I got towed. But anyway, so yeah, the channel has changed a lot. You know, now there's real-time notifications on, you know, on Telegram. There's real-time notifications on X. There's 30-second shorts that happen every time that there's a beep tone that get pushed out to YouTube and to Instagram. I mean, you know, and then all of those are like curated on a, you know, they're weighted basically on a scale, you know, of 1 to 10. You know, an officer not answering his radio, we're not going to make a short from that, you know. But, you know, something like this, or a 32, you know, felony, or, you know, shots fired or shot spotter, all of that gets rated typically above 7.5. And anything that's a 7.5 or better, you know, the system is automatically going to clip the beep tone, and the, you know, it clips 3 minutes of what happens next, just so that I have a record of it. But we only put up 30 seconds, because in that 30-second short, you can actually go to the longer 8-hour video where that incident occurred. And then on top of that, we automatically put markers inside the description of the videos on YouTube, so you can go into the description of any one of the videos and essentially click on any one of, or tap on any one of those markers, and that just denotes a beep tone. And then the place where I get all of my notifications, you know, I know people don't like to be berated with notifications. You know, there's 150 notifications a day, you know. Depending, you know, it could be 50, it could be 150, kind of depending on the day. But essentially, if you want to get all of the notifications, that's where you go to Telegram. That's no holds barred. There you're going to get every single beep tone that happens across the entire city of Miami, in all 4 districts. And then we added some AI functionality. It took us hours, days, weeks actually. You know, Mrs. Miami PD scanner can attest to that. But essentially, it took us weeks to listen to and transcribe the audio, so that we can train the AI models to get as close as possible to real-time transcripts in this domain. By this domain, I mean the city of Miami Motorola P25 police radio traffic, police radio dispatch traffic. You understand that AI doesn't inherently understand what QAH is, you know, or QSL, or 7530, or, you know, 1551. It's not regular spoken language. It's short form language made for efficiency, and on top of that, it's coded. So we had to listen to hours and hours and hours of this stuff and transcribe it ourselves, and then train the AI models to essentially be able to get, you know, 90% of the audio correct. You know, it's still bad, you know. It'll get better with time, but it's still horrible. But having 90% of the spoken word that happens opens a whole world of possibilities for us, because now we can send out summarizations in regular English language. We don't need to send it in coded language. So when you get, you know, when you get a notification on Twitter, it'll be a summarization of what happened. So we had to train another AI model on what all the codes are, how to act, what to say, what not to say, you know. And then we basically feed it, you know, 5 or 6 lines of the transcript that come after a beep tone. We feed it that information, and it summarizes it for us, sends it back to our system, and then our system puts that through a software-driven, all of this is proprietary, by the way, puts it through a software-driven rating system that decides how to manage that particular beep tone. It sends out the summarized notification to Telegram. If it's above a certain rating, it sends it out to Twitter. And if it's above a certain other rating, it sends it out. It creates a snippet of recorded audio, turns it into a vertical short, adds the summary to the top of that short, posts it to YouTube, and then posts it to Instagram. In addition to that, we use Python to try, I say try because it's the most difficult thing you can imagine. I had no idea that it was that difficult to do addresses, but we use Python to try to figure out where to put those flashing overheads that I call orbs on the screen. So when you look at any one of those, any one of the live feeds, channel 1 through 7, you'll notice that there's these flashing orbs on the map. Those are actual calls. You know, when a call comes in, you know, that's with a beep tone, an alert call, that's with a beep tone. It essentially tries to figure out where that is, you know, in the city of Miami, and then place an orb on that map. So that map there in the background is driven by Google Maps. And then the orbs are essentially just some JavaScript that I wrote that look like flashing lights, but it's really nothing more than just a pin on a map. And you know, you see how the layers just kind of stack on top of each other, from when all I wanted was to be able to listen to, or to be able to know when there was a beep tone on some channel I wasn't listening to. And then this is where we are today. Any luck?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet, nothing? What's running? I heard tarpon's running, no?
I'm looking for snapper.
Oh, you're looking for snapper? All right. Have a good night, man.
What happened?
Fatal accident.
Somebody
Two
died?
kids on a dirt bike. 2 kids on dirt bikes hit somebody riding a bicycle, and the guy on the bicycle. Yeah. Hug your people, bro. Remember that. Life is short. So yeah, I use ChatGPT a lot, you know, to write little snippets of stuff that I need. And anybody who's not doing that today is just falling behind, you know. So the advent of all of this stuff, I mean, think about this. 4 years ago, you know, we were writing what we could and farming out what we couldn't. You know, I say we, I mean me and my wife. And it was mostly me and my wife just tolerating the fact that I was sitting at my desk for 12 hours a day for an entire month. You know, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. Paying attention to nothing else. But anyway, that's a whole other story. We might need to start another channel for that story. But that's how it started. And this is where we are today, you know. So, you know, when I ask you guys to like and subscribe and to, you know, share and stuff like that, it's not coming from a bad place, you know. It's just me trying to figure out how to get more people to listen to this stuff, you know. The police radio traffic is really interesting, and it takes a while, you know. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to understand the language and the lingo, and it takes, you know, some concentration, and, you know, but with time, you know, you just pick it right up. It's like a second language, and I think that that's really cool, you know. And anybody else who thinks that that's really cool and, you know, likes to spend time doing it, you know, they're welcome to watch this channel, and I want them to, because we share something in common that we like, and, you know, and I want people who don't know about this, that would find it interesting, I want them to know about it as well, which is why I ask you guys to share and like, and, you know, do all the rest of it. Obviously it helps other people find this channel. But anyway, guys, look, I've been talking now for an hour, and I went on a walk I wasn't supposed to go on. I was scantily prepared for. I'm supposed to be in bed right now. I already had my decaf cortadito. I'm supposed to be laying in my bed, not walking on the bridge in chancletas here. My feet are going to hurt tomorrow, boy. Listen, if you don't know already, you can find us on X at Miami PD Scanner. You can find us pretty much on all the socials at Miami PD Scanner. Here on YouTube, where you're watching now, on Rumble, we're going to try to simulcast on Rumble as well, trying to still get that going. We're going to we'd send all the shorts to YouTube as well, and one of the best places to watch those shorts and to get recaps of those 30-second captures is on Instagram, believe it or not. The place where I spend the least amount of time, but it is the best place for that. There's no question. So easy to scroll through and listen or mute it and just read the description, you know, at the top, or the summary at the top. But anyway, all of the socials are pretty much at Miami PD Scanner. You can find us on Twitter, on Facebook, which I don't even know why, because I needed Instagram. But anyway, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok, which I don't really use. It's not at Miami PD Scanner, because somebody stole that before I got my hands on it. But you can find us there. I think it's the real Miami PD Scanner. I don't do much there now, but I will in the future. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful Friday night. Stay safe. Hug your family. You know, tell your loved ones you love them. You know, maybe spend a little time looking at them and paying attention to them instead of paying attention to that screen in your hand. But I really appreciate that the time that you do spend on here, you spend with me, and I'm looking forward to doing this again with you guys. And as always, see you soon.